Mardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata cha Pitattvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakattvameva Tvameva Vidyat Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Amadeva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Hari Om. Before we proceed tomorrow, those who cannot make it to come tomorrow and those who want to offer any Gurudakshana to the teacher can offer there, and there may be Yajna Prasadam. If you have gained something, if you not gained something, then you don't have to offer. So here we're talking about it's a seer, at the same time it's not seer, because natu tad vitiyam asti, there is no duality whatsoever from the absolute point. For one to see something, I need to have a seer seen, distinction has to be there, and the pramata, prameyam and pramanam. They call triputi. Triputi means the three aspects, triad, has to be there in any operation. Knower, known, knowing, seer, seen, doing. All this involves in all our transactions, the karta, karma, kriya, all these things, there are always three aspects involved. When there is only one undifferentiated one, then who is the seer of what? There is nothing to see and nothing to be seen. So there is no pramata, there is no pramana or prameyam. That has to be understood. So that's what is again explained in the 31st mantra. Mantra 23 or is the extension of the same argument. Instead of seeing, you talk about hearing and the touching, all five senses. There are other mantras of the same type. And now 31 comes summarizing it as an important mantra, because Shankara quotes this so often. Yatra va anyat evasyat, yatra va anyat evasyat, tatra anyonyat, tatra anyonyat pasyet, anyonyat jigred, anyonyat raset, anyonyat vadet, anyonyat srunayat, anyonyat manveta, anyonyat sprusit, anyonyat vijaniyat. So essentially, this summary of all the previous slokas, essentially in that from 22 to 30, 23 to 30, which we didn't go because each talking about this same aspect. And it says when yatra va anyati va syat, only when there is if there is only a second thing, then there is one can see, each one see other, one can see here, one can touch other, one can see all that. But because there is a duality. If there is no duality, if it is Advaitam, then who sees what? So that is the essence of when there is something else other than itself, then there is some seeing action going on. When Brahman I am is existent pure consciousness which is limitless, then there is nothing else to see what. And therefore, even though at the transactional level seeing and knowing going on, from the absolute level there is no seeing and none of them is there. So that is so Vyavahartvat, in the Vyavahara state, in the transactional reality, there is a plurality, therefore there is all the operations are operating, and therefore there is a seer, seen and seeing, doer, doing, and all the actions are there. All that is possible only when there is a plurality. If the plurality is not reality but apparent reality, then apparent seeing, apparent actions are there. So what we have in the transactional world, there is an appearance of everything, and if appearance is taken as real, then we have a problem, and that's our problem also. The appearance is only understood as appearance, and if I understand that it is appearance only when I understand the truth behind the appearance, then the appearance is taken as only mithya. That has to be understood. Let's go to sloka 32. Salila eko drashta, advaito bhavati, Yesha Brahma Lokaha Samraditi Haenam Anusasa Yajnavalkyaha Yeshasya Paramo Gatihi Yeshasya Parama Sampat Yeshasya Paramo Lokaha Yeshasya Paramanandaha Yeshasya Anandasya Anyani Bhutani Matra Mupajivanti. So, Salila Eko Drashtaha Eka Drashta Advaito Bhavati. Saliha means Saliha Ekaha. Saliha means it's a pure Suddham, and Ekaha and Eka means one alone. So pure Suddham means there is nothing defect. So any dust, any dirt is something other than it, therefore we call it dust. So if my body is dirty, that means there is something other than the body is on my body. That's why I have to take bath. So in taking bath, what happens? In taking bath, I remove the dirt and I am back to myself as I am. So in the cleaning process, the dirt which doesn't belong to me is removed. If something belongs to me, I cannot remove it. That's my nature. So if it is natural to me, then I cannot remove. What is natural to me cannot be removed. What is unnatural to me, which is superimposed on me, can be removed by a process only. So if that is the case, all that I am going to deep sleep state, I am rejecting waking state and the dream state, but I am there all alone by myself without any duality. So duality is coming and duality is going. So if something is coming going, that is not my real nature. Because something goes and comes and goes, that is only a temporal thing, and what I am, my intrinsic thing cannot come and go. That's my true nature. So nobody is unhappy in the deep sleep state. That is my natural state. No pains, no nothing, no suffering, no hunger, no thirsty. Those are all at the transactional level. They come and go. Therefore, when whatever that come and go, therefore it's not permanent. And therefore, if I consider that is a real problem, then I have a problem. So this is understood as I have to understand this while I am in the waking state. The problem is this is good in the deep state, but when it comes to that, when I am facing a problem, recollect this as a part. How do I recollect this? By every day going to bed and coming in the morning, have this in mind. Sir, I am going to transact in the world. I know you are there everywhere, at least from the birthday point. I know you are there in everything. But when I am transacting, I forget that you are there, and I am transacting superficially and getting involved. All problems and fighting and jealousy is because I forget the essence. That doesn't mean that I should be a good doormat. Everybody steps on me. It's not what Vedanta is. Vedanta is what needs to be done has to be done. But at the same time, the night when I go to sleep, says, Sir, I forgot in the transactions your presence and all, but at least remind me so that I want to wind up and give it to you back, so that it doesn't belong to me. So first thing in the morning and the last thing in the night, think of the Lord as a starting point, because I am not able to think of the Lord during transactions, because I am getting involved in the interaction so much that I am forgetting it. So if I remember at least these two ends, then slowly, abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grishyate. By constant practice, this becomes more and more as my natural understanding, even while transacting in the background. You know what called Shruti? The Indian music, you have Shruti. Shruti is the Ambura Shruti. You are going Arohana, Avarohana all over place, but keep in mind that I don't go Apashruti. With that Shruti in mind, I have to transact in the world. What is the Shruti? Either I am the totality or Lord is there in everywhere. If I remember in my transactions, I can transact what need to be transacted appropriately for the situation. So yoga karmasu kaushalam is dexterity in the action follows by a yogi, a purusha, the one wise man acts properly, beautifully. Sankalpa is so great also. And that has to be understood. So salilaha is essentially suddha. That means completely pure, means there is nothing other than it. Therefore it is pure. Ekaha. Ekaha means I mentioned it's only one. That means there is no sajati vijati swagata beda rahita. It is swagata beda rahitam. And drashta. Salila eko drashta. So these are words. Each one a word is pointing in the direction. Okay. Drashta. Drashta means here is a pure consciousness itself. That which is awareness, satyam, jnanam, anantam, it is that because of which everything else is known, itself doesn't see anything, but it is because of its very presence. You can see how beautiful that conscious, you don't think it's some consciousness, something, its presence, the matter is becoming so dynamic. I can lift my hand, I can talk, I can blink my eyes because of the presence of life itself. Without that I cannot do it. But recognition is important. Awareness in the first thing in the morning, presence of the Lord in you as the very life principle itself makes the purification of mind. And seeing that in everywhere also, the vision becomes different. In my transactions, also I give what value should be given for that only. Afterwards I forget it or close it, the account. And that's why eko drashta. Advaito bhavati. That means there is all reality is lost. Reality is only become apparent. It's not a monoism. It is advaita. Means dvaita is seeing, but that's not really real. Therefore, what is only apparently real is required for the transactional purposes is duality, but absoluteless from the absolute point. It's only one, and that's called advaitam. That's what you experience in the deep sleep state. That's your natural state, and that's in the knowledge is what you experience in the deep sleep is also your natural state. Even while waking and transacting, if I have that vision, then the life itself becomes a precious also. Yesha Brahmalokaha. So Yesha, that is in fact is the Brahmaloka. Brahmaloka is not the Satyaloka here. Brahman is lokam. So is essentially that which is lokanam darsanam jnanam lokha. That's how the Shankara defines. It means it is a jnana swarupam. It is of the nature of the consciousness itself, and that because of which I am conscious of everything. So consciousness has to pervade the thought for me to be conscious of the thought. And every thought is nothing but object outside. So I am pervading every object in a way, in everything, because I am engulfing with my consciousness, because I am aware of. That's why it says pratibodha viditam matam. In every thought it is there. Only I am being in every seeing that you see in light. But at the same time I am getting carried away with the reflecting medium and paying attention to the medium of reflection, not to the reflection light. In the same way, I am paying attention to the thoughts and the contents of the thought, and that's why my attachment also to the thoughts only. But if I pay attention to the light of, because of which I am conscious of the thought, I am aware of the thought, that light of consciousness is I am, has to be understood. That is Ekamaha, that is Brahmaloka. Samrat iti is giving back. This is a discussion by Janaka, discussion by Yajnavalkya, a Samrat, a Janaka Maharaj. This is what the truth is. Ha enam anusasha. This is the instructions by Yajnavalkya. This is the teaching by Yajnavalkya. Yeshasya paramagatihi. This indeed, this is now, the scripture is coming to us now. The scripture, when the discussion is over by Yajnavalkya at that point. Now the scripture is teaching us now. What is it teaching? Yeshasya paramagati. This is the highest goal of life itself. All other goals are temporary goals, where you want this, you want that, name, fame, all that is only temporary, because once you get, then what else after that? I mean, Swami Vimalananda was saying, he said, what do you want to become? I want to become doctor. One said, what have you become doctor? What else you do? Then what else? Then I want something. So everything that you want, there is an incompleteness because that's all temporarily. What is that permanent is, I want to be absolutely, uninterruptedly happy. I won't get happiness in any other way. And therefore it says essentially, this is the essence of life itself. All other pursuits are meaningless pursuits required for transactions. Yes, you have to live, you have to earn, wealth is important, all that are important. Vedanta never says that. You earn as much as you can, but dharma, artha, kama comes with the dharma and moksha at the end. Those are the two ends are bounded by artha and kama, are bounded by dharma and moksha. And that's what essentially has to be understood. E samrat, enam anusasanam, and eshasya paramagatihi. This is the highest goal. Paramagatihi. Eshasya paramosampad. This is the highest wealth that you can get. You can have billions of that. We'll go into the next chapter. Tomorrow we're talking about the Ananda scale. But here it says, even if you have the infinite everything, whatever that is limited, and this is the highest wealth that you can have. Eshasya paramo lokaha. This is the highest truth that one can see. Paramo lokaha is also highest field of experience also. Eshasya parama anandaha. This is the highest happiness that you are longing for. Yesha asya eva anandasya anyani bhutani matram upajivanti. This is the highest ananda that one can get, and anyani bhutani matram upajivanti. All other happiness that you get in life, that you are going after, are only matra. Matra means only a bit of this one. You are chasing for happiness. First, it's not there, and whatever happiness that you get, Vishaya Ananda, is only a reflected Ananda of this only. So, for getting happiness, what do you want? I want happiness. I am going all over the place where it's not there, number one. Number two, and you are forgetting that you are the source of happiness and you're looking for all over the place. And that's why it is what all anandas, sarvani bhutani matram upajivanti. Therefore, this is the highest happiness that, and any other happiness that you get is only a reflected happiness. And here in the next sloka, he is going to tell about this happiness, reflected happiness. He's called Ananda Mimamsa. The next sloka, 33, let's talk about Ananda. This is an abridged version of Ananda scales from the Taittiriya Upanishad. Those who have studied Taittiriya, we took that also. So some of the talks are there in the, of my talks are there in the Chinmaya DC audio talks. In the video you can, like we were doing, the video talks available on the YouTube under Acharya Sadaji. You can get the big list of it. Actually, we did the last, I came from India, so in the last 6 months, 6 months we live here, 6 months we live there. So in the last 6 months we were doing the advanced Vedanta talks, almost like 240 videos are there, where it takes systematically, logically, and also very critical analysis of Vedanta, comparing to Visishta Advaita and other things also there, for those who really want. There are almost like 20 minutes talks of each, about 250 or so are there, or more than that, I'm not sure. This is all by courtesy of the Advaita Academy, by people that who are also going to put this in the YouTube. Okay, let's do those only for those who want to know. Yes?
Before you start that Ananda, the big shloka.
I can't hear, so I answered it.
4315, you say anything about the last sentence. So in 4315.
32 I did.
4315. 4315.
I can't hear, so it's...
4355.
Huh?
4350. Sloka 15. 15, sir.
15? Huh?
Yeah, 1-5. We got a question about 15.
Oh, you have a question about 15?
Yeah, I think the last sentence, I think.
Last sentence I missed.
I think so.
It says, Bhutani matram upajivanti.
No, not the current one. 4, 3, 1, 5, 4. If you go back now.
15.
Oh, in 15?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Where is 15? Oh, did I miss something there?
Last sentence.
Oh, last sentence. Okay, that is Soyam Bhagavate Sahasram Dadami. That one? Oh, Ati Urdhvam Vimokshaya Bhagavate. So every time this he finishes the talk, Yajnavalkya finishes the talk to Janaka. Janaka is a king. He says essentially Asangohyam Purusha iti, I am, this attached is the Purusha. So evameva etad Yajnavalkyaha. So that's what, this is what the totality itself, that's what Yajnavalkya says. Soham Bhagavate Sahasram Dadami. So here Janaka, being a true Vedantic student, recognizes that he cannot get the knowledge free. Even though knowledge is given free, oh, that's why you want to make sure. So knowledge should not be taken free. So even though the jnana has to be given free, but at times receiving it should not be taken free. Why? Knowledge will not stay with you. So the point is, depending upon what you have gained, you have to give back something. So what does, at least the sages here, they have wealth is only the cows. So here, evam eva eta yagya. Soham bhagavate sahasram dadami. I am giving 1,000 cows. Sahasram is talking about cows there. The cows are the wealth. So I am giving 1,000 cows here. Ataha urdhvam vimokshaya bruhite. Please don't go after this, because he is not offering only 1,000. Before that he offered ready to hold the kingdom itself. Now he is coming down to cows only. So he wants to give only cows, because if he gives whole kingdom, then there is nothing else to talk. He may not talk anymore. So he wants to make sure that Yajnavalkya keeps talking. So I says, Ata urdhvam moksha vimoksha vai bruhiti. Please keep telling me about the higher nature of the reality. Okay. Oh my God, people are listening. Okay, let's see this. This is the last sloka that we'll take from this chapter. Sayo manushyanam raddaha samudro bhavati anyesham adhipatihi sarvaihi manushyakaihi bhogaihi sampannatamaha samanushyanam parama anandaha atayeshatam manushyanam anandaha sa ekaha pitrunam jidalokanam anandaha athame satam pitrunam jitalokanam anandaha sa eko gandharvaloka anandaha atame satam gandharvaloka anandaha sa ekaha karmadevanam anandaha ye karmana devatvam abhisampadyate athaye satam karmadevanam anandaha sa eka ajana devanam anandaha yascha sotriyaha avrajino akamahataha Athaye satam ajana devanam anandaha saeka prajapati loka anandaha yascha sotriyaha avrajinaha akamahataha athaye satam prajapati loka anandaha saeko brahmaloka anandaha yascha sotriyaha avrajinaha akamahataha. We'll stop there. We'll come back in next topic. So here we are talking about the order of anandas that people get at different levels. So this is ananda scale. So this is a commentary of the last part of the last loka. Says Bhutani matram upajivanti anyani ananda bhutani matram upajivanti. All other happiness that others get is only a very part of it, very small part of it. And what are these anandas? Now there is a degradation of anandas of all people here, and there are at least I think 7 or 8 here levels described. And what is the unit of ananda? First thing is defining what is the measure here. So sahayaha manushyanam radhaha samruddho bhavati anyesham adhipatihi sarvaihi manushyakaihi bhogaihi sampannatamaha samanushyanam paramanandaha. So one unit of ananda is defined as that manushyanam, that manusya, that human being, radhaha means one who is physically fit, that means very strong, that means whatever he eats he digests also. So the one who is very strong also, not an old man who cannot enjoy anything. So he is talking about ananda of a young and who is very strong. And samruddho bhavati, who is prosperous, samruddha means completely very prosperous. Anvesham adhipatihi, he is the adhipati, he is the lord of everything that he can think of, essentially anvesham. Sarvaihi manushyakaihi bhogaihi, so all pleasures of all people he has that at his beck and call. He can enjoy anything that he wants. And he has a energy also to enjoy, because he already said radha, that means he is young enough or strong enough to enjoy everything. Bhogaihi. Sampanna tamaha, then who is sampanna? Who is the sampanna means wealth and everything else that required for enjoying also. Samyak pannatam, sampanna tamaha. Tamaha, taratama. Tama is supreme. Tara is comparative. Tama is the highest. There is nothing more you can ask for. So he has everything in the world almost. Samanushyanam parama anandaha. That person who has all this is the ananda of that is one unit. So all other people, we don't have even that much. And we say, oh, I have this and I have $1 million house here and I have in Potomac or this hack. So what? What does it mean? That happiness is only a small bit, much smaller bit itself. So don't be proud of what you have. What you have is what you are, not what you are, not what you are. You think what you have is what you are. Oh, I have so much, therefore I am also great. So that is what essentially is comparing the ananda of a human being who has everything. Athaye shadam manushyanam anandaha sa ekaha pitrunam jitalokanam anandaha. So taking that as one unit, as that person who has strong enough and enjoy his everything, if you take that as one unit and 100 times of that ananda, athaye shadam manushyanam ananda, that 100 times of his ananda, sa eka pitrunam jitalokanam ananda, the ananda of one who is in the pitruloka. The being in the Pitruloka enjoys 100 times of ananda of this person who has this unit. Right? So he's 100 times more ananda. Now this Atayesatam Pitrunam Jitalokanam Anandaha Sayeko Gandharvaloka Anandaha. So this Pitrunam Ananda, if you take that as one unit, 100 times of that is what in the Gandharvaloka a being enjoys that much happiness. Though he is almost 100 times 100 of the Manushya Ananda. Adhaye sadam gandharvaloka anandaha sa ekam karmadevanam anandaha. So we have in the heavens there are two types of devas, as you see. One is Karmadeva and another is Janadeva, the one who is Janadeva, the born there. So who is Karmadeva and who is Janadeva? In olden days, according to Vedas, you perform a yajna or certain yajnas where you can go to heavens by that. So he has gone by doing a karma. Karma means a particular ritual he has performed and he gets qualified to go there as a karma phala. So karma devanam, those who have gone to the heavens by doing the particular action, and he may not go this life. So he will go next life. That's what promise is. Not that he now dies and then immediately goes. When he dies, he goes to that loka to enjoy that because of the karma that he has done. Of the yajna or whatever the karma, that Vedic karma that he has done. And therefore, he has to be born in that again. So this Karma Devananda is the one who has, through the action he has performed in this life cycle. And the life cycle is in this pralayam. All are implied here. So pralayam is life after life also. So in the next life you may go to heavens, and because of the punyam that you have done, depending on the punyam you are qualified to go, and there you have credit card. Credit card is this punyam is credit card. Until your credit card expires, balance is there, you will be enjoying chine punye martyulokam. Afterwards you don't want to go, so they will push you out of that place. Martyulokam vishanti. You are pushed out because you want to stay there, but you don't have any more credit there. So you come back. But here, this Karma Devananda, those who have gone by the actions of performing, ye karmana devatvam abhisampadjate. This he has gone by karma, by process of karma, he enjoys 100 times more than this Gandharva previous scale. So he is 100 times of the human being also. That's why people try to do all those yajnas at that time. And ataye satam karma devananda esaeka ajana devanam anandaha. So the one who has born himself from the beginning, that means not from this pralaya, from the next pralaya or previous pralaya, where how does he born? Because of the karma only, previous karma. So he is born there from the beginning itself, and he will be enjoying 100 times more than this guy. He is a second class citizen and he is a first class citizen in the same loka. That's all it means. The same thing, it's also there in the Taittiriya Upanishad. There is a Manushya Gandharvananda, Deva Gandharvananda, there are more scales there, but here he is giving some scales for us to know. And and now he says, Yascha Sotriyaha Avrajino Akamahataha Yaha Ascha Same Ananda. Same Ananda what? In fact, in the Atrupa, same called Sotriyasya Akamayatasya. The statement comes, every statement. Here it says Yaha Cha Sotriyaha. The one who is Sotriya. Who is Sotriya? The one who has understood the Shruti. How does he understood? By Shruti, by listening to the teacher. And therefore he is a Sotriya. So therefore Shruti is our scriptures. Why they are called Shruti? Because the Veda, they call the Rishis are called Veda Drashtas. They are not writers of Shruti. They are only Drashtas. That means they visualize the Shruti in the seat of meditation. It's revealed to them. So when say the Vishwamitra wrote the Gayatri, he didn't write it. It's revealed. Gayatri came to him. descended to him. So therefore they don't claim that I wrote it or I discovered it. So actually Chandrasekhar, the Nobel laureate Chandrasekhar, he wrote in the Scientific American once the article, says all even scientific discoveries are done by intuition only. And Vedanta doesn't believe intuition. They believe only in tuition. You have to listen, not intuition. So intuition is, what is intuition? Okay, definition of intuition. Intuition is that state of mind when I am contemplating on that subject or on some problem, and that is meditating on that, suddenly it gets revealed. Called, I made breakthrough. There is no breaking through, it gets revealed. And same thing happens to the rishis, they get revealed. A scientist says, I discovered it, whereas the Vedantic student says, who is that I? It's revealed to me. Therefore, Vedas are called, the rishis are called Veda Drashta. And you know, when you go to a temple, the priest will ask you, so what does he ask? You have to do puja. You have to puja for what? You have to identify, because so many people are doing puja, and Lord should know where the result should go. Address, the address to which the goodies can be sent. So you're asking, I want this, and if you are appealing to the Lord, so Lord should know who is asking this guy, to whom it should be sent. So you have to give your address. What's your address? Not that your address, local address here. God doesn't know this local address. You have to tell what Gotram you are, right? That's what is. Gotram is, I am descendant of that line of the rishis. So we will tell, I am Vishwamitra Gotra, this Gotra, that Gotra, all names we tell without knowing what our ancestors have done. We claim ourselves, we are the descendants of that, without knowing what the great rishis, forefathers have done. That's called, rishi is also called Vedas, by the way. And therefore, this is Veda Drashtas, they are reveals, they don't claim that we are the authors, this is revealed to me. So Vedas are called revelations, which they passed on to their disciples, therefore, they call it, we heard. That's called Shruti. Shruti means you hear. And therefore here it says, Yascha Sotriyaha, one who hears this Shruti, that means understand the Shruti, not only hear means, the Srotriya means one who understood as an understanding of the fact. That's why it says, Avrajinaha, the one who is clear of all these papas, and there is no papam at all. Vrajinam is papam, Avrajinam means is no more papam and so on, papa punyam also included. So, and akamahataha, he doesn't have any desires of that below that, doesn't have it. He also enjoys same happiness. Now what is his statement here? He says, he is giving us different scales, he is 100 times that happiness, the other fellow is 100 times of that, but the same happiness, you don't have to go anywhere, sitting here, listening to the scriptures, understanding scriptures, and understand that I don't need anything for me to be happy. Therefore, my happiness comes from my own self, and he can enjoy same happiness and all this, because they are all reflected happiness. Remember, they are only part of it, whereas this is the full. So here the statement comes after every ananda from now on. Yasya sotriyaha vrajino akamahataha. So all kamas have been dissolved, and he also enjoys the same happiness. The atayesatam Ajana devanam anandaha saeka prajapati loka anandaha. So Prajapati is the one who is the pati of the prajas, that means who has created the whole universe, that means the creator is a Hiranyagarbha here, is the Brahmaji, four-headed Brahmaji, you can say. So his anandam is 100 times of that. And same anandam, yasya sotriyaha avrajino akamahataha, and That Anandam is also one can gain here itself by transcending and recognizing that I am pure Satchidananda Swarupam itself. All Anandas are reflected Anandas. You remember I told you the Sat, Chit, Ananda are reflections of the existence in the form of objects, inert objects, and in the Chit and Sat is reflected in the subtle body. Both Sat and Chit are reflected, and Ananda also gets reflected if the subtle body or the mind is calm and quiet and serene. Therefore, you get Ananda also there. So that's all other things are only reflected happiness of one source, which is Brahmananda. They are all called, others are all called Vishayananda. Ata esadam prajapati loka anandaha sa eko brahma loka anandaha. So here differentiating the Virat Purusha Prajapati and here the Hiranyagarbha, the highest state of Prajapati, is their Ananda is much higher than the other one. Yascha sotriyaha vrajino akamahataha. So the same Ananda can be obtained by a contemplative, a Sutriya, once he understood that I am the very source of happiness itself. And with that, he has given the scale of happiness, and Yajnavalkya goes, Adaisha eva parama anandaha. Adaisha eva parama anandaha. Yeshaha brahma lokaha. Samrad iti. So he says, At Esha Eva Paramananda. That alone is, what is that? That these are all reflected happiness, but that which is Sutriyaha, who is enjoying the highest happiness by recognizing that I am very source of happiness, that happiness that we are talking about is Paramananda, is the absolute happiness here. Parama means there is nothing higher than that. There is no comparison now, because this is the highest and this is the original happiness. Everything is only reflected happiness depending on the reflected medium. Samraditi. Samraditi, now we know what is Samrat. Hey, King. Hey, King Janaka, this is the story. Ho Vasi Yajnavalkyaha. Soham Bhagavati, again coming here, which we missed there. Soham Bhagavati Sahasram Dadami. So, that, hey Bhagavati, oh Bhagavan, I am giving 1,000 cows. Cows are understood here. Atraha Yajnavalkyaha Bhibhayam Chagara. Medha, oh, you have to repeat after maybe Hindu. We did that. Samrad iti ho vacha Yajnavalkyaha Soham Bhagavate Sahasram Dadami Ata Urdhvam Vimoksha Yaiva Bruhiti Atraha Yajnavalkyaha Vibhayam Chakara Medhavi Raja Sarvebhyo Mantebhyaha Udaret Siditi. Okay. So, hey Samrat iti, at ho vachi Yajnavalkya. Yajnavalkya said, hey Bhagavan, this is, what is that? You are Atesha Esha Paramanandaha Esha Brahmalokaha. This again, Shankara quotes extensively this statement that moksha is nothing but pure Ananda, which you are, and that is the Brahmaloka, that is Brahman, which is a enlivening factor, which is Swayam Jyotihi, that's what we are talking about, Swayam Jyoti Brahmana, that is in faith is Samrat. Hey Samrat, that is this story. Hey Vacha, Yajnavalkya. Soham Bhagavate Sahasram Dadami. I am giving 100,000 cows, not 100,000 cows Dadami. Ada Urdhvam Vimoksha Yaiva Bhughiti. Please keep talking me more and more about this higher nature of this reality. So when he said that, Atraha Yajnavalkyaha Bhibhayan Chakara, the Yajnavalkya got afraid. Why? Medhavi Raja Sarvebhyo Mantebhya Udaret Siditi. So this king is asking so much because he gave already a boon that you can ask me everything, and he is extracting everything from me one after the other, and he is running, I will be out of all the subjects to talk about anymore. So he was a little concerned. And what he is going to do, we'll do in the next tomorrow, because we complete the fourth chapter and the third Brahmanam, Swayam Jyoti Brahmanam. And those who are coming tomorrow will continue the next Brahmanam, which is called Sharirika Brahmanam. Sharirika Brahman is, okay, we understood, but we are not there yet. We have to attend many camps, so on like this. So what is that we have to do from our point? So this is a samsara varnanam, and what need to be done in order to own that knowledge. And that is what is consists of Sharirika Brahmanam in the next chapter that we will take tomorrow. And today, essentially, I'm going to summarize a little bit of the whole thing that we have learned of this Brahmanam in the next few minutes. And it starts essentially asking the question, what is this source by which I can operate, in what light? So, in what light I can operate? So, it's being used as, because the light of consciousness is what we are talking about. At the same time, all other lights are only incidental lights, and they operate in the external lights for the external world for transactions. So sunlight is required for operating in this world, and that's why we call sun as the Pratyaksha Daivam. Is a direct God incarnate, as called. Suryascha Manyascha Manyapadascha Manyavrebhya Papebhyo Rakshantam. That's what we do. See, I am invoking the Lord in the form that, because I can see, without it there is no life. Without the sun there cannot be any life. So he is the very source of life also. But himself is not really source, but he has to go internally, that Chaitanya Swarupam expressing everything. Someone asks, say, how can the sun is only a star, or is only just like any other stars? Now we know what a star is. It's just inert things, and we know the sun is, and there are many suns, and there is galaxies, and all billions of stars in our own galaxy, all that. And why are we praying that as though sun is the God? Because without sun we can't do anything. So number one. This is a question I asked to Kanchi Kamakote, I think. So he replies, very beautiful reply. Chandrasekhar Bharat. So the Sringeri Peethadipati, someone asked that question. So why, some advanced who knows science and all that, this is all objects and all that, why we have to do Sandhyavandanam, why we have to do prayer. Sandhyavandanam is a particular methodology that you do. Otherwise you have to start praying some way, recognizing the presence of the Lord in some form. Whatever you see, start with the prayer. That's what it essentially implies. So if I don't understand it, follow the rules. If I understand it, adopt it to your requirements. Okay, that's important to know. So the sun is required because when the Lord himself is everything, including in the sun also. So someone asked me, why do we need a temple? If God is everywhere, why do we need a temple? So that question itself is confusion, because if I know that God is everywhere, then I see temple everywhere. I should have the attitude that temple is everywhere. So my attitude of action should differ with that understanding. Only statement that God is everywhere there, why do we need a temple? God is in temple also. If everywhere, God is also in the temple. But until I see God is everywhere, I should go to temple and see God at least there. Right? So I should have the clear understanding of what is the Vedantic definition of God and all that. And for that, I had to see, it says, who is the light? What is the light because of which the whole thing functions? And that's what he goes step by step until he says, what is that light where all other lights don't function? In fact, all other lights function because of this only. That's why he was chanting this. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto vanti kutoyam agni. Showing the Agni simple lamp, and showing the arati and chanting this sloka where I don't need a sunlight, I don't need a moonlight, I don't need the light of stars, I don't need even electricity light. Nema vidyuto bhanti kutaha ayamagni. How can this small light can show you? And itself is showing at the same time. Tvameva bhanta manohati sarvam. You are the light of consciousness because of which everything is lighted. Tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. Because in your light only I can see everything. Because I am conscious of everything, because I am the very consciousness, because I light everything else, and I am the very source of light itself. Until I realize, at least I am doing. Why I put Jyoti? Jyoti stands for knowledge. That's why in the Kumbhabhishekam, they start with the Jyoti, and same Jyoti they use. They don't use again light lamp, again new Jyoti. They take the light from that Akhanda Jyoti, that only they show. Otherwise they use Karpuram. Karpuram is the one burns out, nothing, leaving nothing there, right? Karpuram is, when burns out, there won't be any residue there. Karpuram stands for Vasana. That's why Karpuram is very good Vasanas also. So Karpuram stands for Vasanas. In the burning of the Vasanas, I have to see the Lord. That's what the implication of this. That means I have to purify myself, then the Lord is self-revealing. So what should I do after that? Nothing to do, just see. That's called Jnana Chakshu, third eye of the Shiva. When you know the story of third eye of the Shiva, when he opens the third, what happened? The Kama got burned, right? Kama means all desires get burned. That means in the wake of knowledge, it says Apta Kamaha, Atma Kamaha. One is Apta and is Atma. Don't get confused between Apta Kamaha, Atma Kamaha, Akamaha. Akama means all desires are gone. This is burned out, means transcending the desire. So symbolic, stories are all symbolic. So no more desire, because he is in that state of Shivam Shantam, Shivam Advaitam, Chaturtham Manyante. It is pure. Shivam means auspicious. That's what Shivam means. That is the most auspicious state. And that is the Jnana Chakshu, is a wisdom eye, is called in this, in the middle of the two processes. That's why we put a bottu or namam or tilakam, because when I put namam, your attention is there, right? Nothing else. So, where is that? This is, I am Vaishnava, you know that I am Vaishnava, right? So, that is symbolic of Lakshmi only. It's called, the Lakshmi is, the red color is Lakshmi. We use, in the dance also Lakshmi, the Lakshmi wears a red dress, by the by. But anyway, the point is essentially, I had to recognize that in everything also. So even the Arati, I had to recognize the presence of the Lord itself. And that is the Swayam Jyoti. If I understand it, I had to adopt in my life. So those who do not come next week, this message has to be taken. It says, I am the light of consciousness because of which I am alive. It's expressing as the life in this body. So everything that I am able to karma, all the activities are because of the presence of the life. But we don't know what life is. Doctor can tell you are alive or not because of the, whether you are breathing, whether you are thinking, you are acting, responding to the stimulus only, he will tell he is alive. But what exactly life, he doesn't know. If you don't respond to anything, he will declare you are dead, right? But he doesn't know what life, because life itself is unmanifest, we cannot say, but we know we are alive at the same time. Is anybody not alive here? So the life itself is a manifestation of that, but recognition of that is a knowledge. I am not discovering something new, but I am recognizing the very essence of life itself, starting from the day. So keep this knowledge that I am the light of consciousness which lights in everything. Every life form is there in that form. I am the one which is lighting there also. Not there is separate light there. I am all-pervading consciousness that enlivens every object in the world. So everyone is, life is me expressing only. Therefore, I cannot, all the negative tendencies have to be dropped out. If at all they come because of my raga dveshas, I have to use this knowledge to neutralize those. I may never be perfect because this is thermodynamically it's impossible. But it's called, what do you call, Swami Paramarthananda calls this, is FIR reduction. Means the frequency, the intensity and the recovery. As I begin this in my day-to-day life, the more and more and more I do, my frequency of perturbation from this state, I do get perturbed. When it's suddenly emotional things don't I like, you get irritated. It comes, it's natural also until the frequency will go down. I don't get agitated that frequently. I call frequency of perturbation from my state of understanding. The intensity of perturbation, I will get angry. At the same time, I immediately come back to my natural state and let it go. That also will stop. The intensity will go down, and the recovery time where I get back to my natural state, recovery time also becomes less and less. That means I quickly come back to my natural state. And that is what is FIR reduction. It's not a discrete, it's a slow process. How do I get it? By only way to get it is there is no shortcuts. Shrotavyaha, mantavyaha, nididhyasitavyaha. Constant listening for the mind, because mind is always very ready to go. As soon as you go, the whole talk will be forgotten. You are back to the regular routine. But the more I listen, more I talk, more I think about it, the more and becomes my ingrained in that. Oh, this is a brainwashing. Yes, brain need to be washed because the brain has all wrong things. Therefore, it has to be washed. In the process, clean brain is left behind. That is what essentially Vedanta Shravanam, Srotavyaha, Mantavyaha. So those who don't come, keep reading this. I have not explained completely in all details by word. I gave only lot meaning because of the time factor also. But at the same time, there are books available and the talks available, and listen to them and contemplate on it and claim your own natural state. That's your birthright. Says in the when sage screams out, Shrunvantu Visve Amrutasya Putraha Ayodhamani Divyani Santi Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam Adityavarnam Tamasa Parastat Tameva Viditva. And then I forgot. Nanyah Panta Vijate Anaya. So says Shrunvantu Visve Amrutasya Putra. You are sons of immortality. That's your birthright. Sons of immortality means that's my birthright. Therefore, claim your birthright. So there is a story. So one beggar was begging all over. One Mahatma was going there. And suddenly, sudden thing attracted this beggar. He looked at the beggar and contemplated and looked at him. Hey, you know what? Long time ago, your ancestors went to a foreign country and made millions there, and there is nobody else other than you who can inherit that. So you don't have to beg. You are a millionaire, multi-millionaire. The beggar was so happy. Now what happened? He still have to beg, because to go there he needs a lot of money. To go and claim that there he needs a lot of money he doesn't have. Now his life is really miserable, because he knows he is a millionaire, but he doesn't have anything. He still have to beg. Before that he didn't know that he was a millionaire. He was a happy beggar. Now he is an unhappy beggar, because he knows that he owns some millions, but at the same time he is begging there. Why did I tell the story? I am the very source of happiness. I can own it, but I should not be like the miserable beggar where I cannot claim that. Why I cannot claim? Because I am not uplifting myself, preparing myself to claim that. So only way is sadhana is important, purification of the mind is important, and But once you are able to come and listen to the talks, which means that your mind is calm enough to listen, that means already prepared enough to listen. So what you need to do now is to remove the rest of the raga dveshas. All you do is continue srotavyaha mantavya. How long? Whole life itself. Until the body drops down. I have to listen to scriptures. Whether you listen, whether you talk, whether you write, whether you do, your mind should be dwelling in this, and in this only, because the mind needs to know this, because it's the mind that has a problem and not that. Whenever the mind thinks the happiness is out there, that means understanding is not clear. Whether my mind is getting agitated, that means my mind is understanding is not sinking. Again, the Vedantic Shravanam. Recollection of the knowledge at the time where my mind is disturbed becomes a means. So with that, I would like to stop, and those who come tomorrow will continue with the chapter and finish the next Brahmana, which is very important. And also we are going to talk a little bit about the next Brahmana is also Maitreyi Brahmana is also there, but I'm not going to do all the Maitreyi Brahmana because I already taken it, but we'll take the essential sloka of the Yajnavalkya teaching his wife Maitreyi also. With that, we'll stop here. We'll do Purnamadan. Is there a Arati or something here? What is the program? No program? No, you don't have to do your Arati, but we said if there is a scheduled Arati, then we will do.
I think we are ready to do that.
Okay. The Arati is going to be there after this with the Lord. And then we finished the chapter, we finished the sloka, and then we'll have Arati, and then we disperse those who are not coming back for whatever reasons. And if you want to offer something as a Guru Darshana to the organization to support, you can write the check for, there it's CMW or C. We'll do Purnamada, Purnamidana. Om Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you.